This is stupid. We live on this dielectric plane inside a toroidal field.
Oh, now we're diving into the deep end of pseudoscientific jargon.
Let's get into it because I'll show you how impossible the globe is. It's totally impossible.
Impossible? You mean like gravity doesn't exist impossible? Or the sun is a light bulb impossible? Because frankly, Dave, I've heard a lot of impossible things from flat earthers, and most of them involve someone misunderstanding basic physics. So what kind of impossible are we talking about today?
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe. Here's the thing. Everyone has the same story. When I was first, I was doing a conspiracy podcast and people brought up flat earth.
Are we live? Right? Are you recording?
We're recording, sure. And I'll start wherever. So welcome, Dr. Shiva, or I'm on your show. I'm not sure which one it is, but we're having two conversations, two grown men having a conversation.
Two grown men? Really, Dave? I assumed you were going to be talking about the flat earth. And check this out. This man's ego is so huge that he won't even entertain listening to the facts Dave was ready to share. Dave doesn't share anything even resembling facts. As far as I can remember, the only thing Dave Weiss shares is the personal information of the people who've signed up to his app. Now, when it comes to Dr. Shiva, he's an interesting character as well, because he claims that he invented email. Just Google his name, it's all there, including the name of the guy who actually invented email in 1979, Ray Tomlinson.
Dave, what do you put it up on? What, YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
Okay.
All right. I normally let you. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice a little bit, so I've done a lot of interviews.
You just keep waffling, Dave. I'm having my lunch.
So you're brand new to this topic. I know that people have been hounding you in your chat saying, hey, have you looked into flat earth? And you agreed to have me on. So that's awesome. Thanks for having an open mind. And
well, I think about a year ago, David, just to give you an update.
Yeah.
So there's two positions I have on this, right? Mm-hmm. One is people should just collectively agree on an experiment, a very detailed experiment.
Just for a little bit of additional context, because I'm feeling very helpful today, this interview is from February 4th, last month, as in after the final experiment has happened. So, we have. And Dave was invited to go for free, and he pussied out because he's a big coward.
For me, right, we know there are infinite number of things that the swarm lies about. Many things. Mm-hmm. So the issue is, we could talk about this, we could talk about a whole bunch of things. My question also, is what do people want to do about it? You say?
Yeah. So
and
we're going to get into that.
To me, one has to build a bottoms-up movement of working people to address this.
Sure.
There's a lot of people grift off a whole bunch of stuff, and they have no interest in building any type of movement to get to truth, freedom, health.
I wonder if Dave realizes that this Shiva guy just described Dave to a T. Because he does grift off the flat earth, and he most definitely has no interest in getting to the truth.
Well, we're trying to do that. We're trying to build that movement, and they're trying everything they can to stop us because this is the one that breaks us free from the matrix.
Ah, the classic they're all against us and wake up sheeple combo. A conspiracy within a conspiracy. Who are they, Dave? The Illuminati? Big Globe? The lizard people running NASA? Because if proving the Earth is flat is the key to escaping the Matrix, I'm going to need a bigger roll of tin foil.
You can't, there's a lot of things going on in the world with child trafficking and homelessness and wars and everything else. And people say, Dave, why are you focusing on flat earth? And the reason is because
you're a lying piece of crap grifter who would say anything about anything that'll put a few extra dollars in your pocket.
If you don't know where you live, who you are, what this place is, if you don't know that you're at the center of creation, that you have great power, then you can't do anything. You're lost in space, spinning out of control, and you're powerless.
Yeah, you are powerless. You're a tiny speck on a tiny speck in an endless sea of specks. But with the power of flat Earth, you can be a tiny speck on a tiny flat speck. So does that mean believing in a flat earth would give me superpowers, Dave? So if I do, I would suddenly be able to fly or control the weather? Or does it just give me the power to misunderstand things?
And so, you know, people don't realize they have free will. People just think that they're, you know, are stuck in this slave system, and the globe is a prison for your mind, right? You know, and think about this. When people search flat earth, they come up with this. This is stupid.
But Dave, if an image of what you believe we live on, a flat earth, is stupid, what does that say about the theory itself? Are we just supposed to ignore your own very accurate assessment of the flat earth?
Okay, no flat earther thinks that Earth is this, but this is what they want you to think.
Hang on a second, Mr. Weiss, I'm getting very confused here. So they want us to think that the Earth is a globe while showing us photographs of what a flat Earth looks like, you know, the real one, all while trying to hide the flat Earth from us.
Like if you Google, hey, top 10 reasons the Earth could be flat, Google's going to deliver you top 10 reasons the Earth is a globe.
Well, Google is clearly part of Big Globe, aren't they? They're so powerful they can even manipulate search results to show actual evidence. How dare they? I mean, it's not like search engines are designed to prioritize information based on relevance and credibility, is it? Must be part of a global plot. Dave, if flat Earth were true, wouldn't there be 10 reasons the Earth is flat that were scientifically valid?
Because they don't want you finding the true information of this world. You asked me before when I first got into it, I went into it with a bad attitude. I went in, I'm just going to disprove flat Earth, prove the globe. And I tried for weeks to find proof of the globe, but I couldn't. And the more I looked, the worse it got.
I know, Dave, it's so frustrating. And if I were you, I would be wishing that some random guy on the internet had offered to pay the $35,000 it would cost you to go down to Antarctica to witness a phenomenon which is completely impossible on a flat Earth. What a shame, because that would have proven it to even you once and for all. You know, because you said this.
The 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat Earth. And then I realized, oh my God, the Earth is not a globe. And then I was afraid to even talk about it because I'm like, oh my God, all of the other work I've done on all of the other deceptions is going to be discredited. But then I realized
that there was lots of money to be made. Because stupid people are very easily manipulated.
Special Officer Dukey reporting.
I mean, this is 127,000 feet up, right? Whenever we send a balloon up, the Earth is white, okay? It's white because of the thickness of the atmosphere, right? But NASA shows us these color graphic pictures of Earth. They're in technicolor, right?
Are you sure it wasn't just a cloudy day, Dave? Because, you know, light does some pretty interesting things when it passes through the atmosphere. It can scatter, refract, and even create those pesky colors that NASA is so fond of.
Look at this light here. It's a local light. It's lighting up this area right here, right? It's darker over here because this is a local light. What is it? We don't know, right? But it's a local light for sure. It can be proven that.
Do any of you lot realize how big the sun is? You're claiming that something which has a diameter which is over 100 times the size of Earth is local. That's like saying an elephant is local to a mouse. Also, how does this local sun explain the other stars we see at night? Are they also local light bulbs? Is the universe just a giant warehouse filled with the bloody things?
And, you know, we live on this realm. Now, we're going to be talking about where we live in this incredibly large system. And we live on this dielectric plane inside a toroidal field.
Oh, now we're diving into the deep end of pseudoscientific jargon. And Dave, I'm sure that sounds impressive to other flat earthers, but isn't that just a fancy way of saying that you think we live on a magic carpet in a donut-shaped bubble?
The Earth is supposedly rotating at 1,000 miles an hour below this balloon, right? 1,000 miles an hour to the east. This balloon is disconnected from the Earth. It's nearly in space, if that's a real thing. And when it came down, it landed east of where it took off.
Yeah. The balloon should just stay perfectly still, and birds should just fall out of the sky, and aeroplanes should just hover in place. A miracle of flat Earth physics. Or maybe, just maybe, it's because the Earth's atmosphere is also rotating, and the balloon is carried along with it. But what do I know? I'm just a globe-believing sheeple.
Let's take time out here. Let's just take first principles, okay?
Yep.
Let's just go to very simple first principles.
Sure.
Okay, and let's go to the basic scientific method.
Oh, Dr. Shiva, you've blown it now. The second you mention the scientific method, flat earthers' brains just switch off.
So let's review what the scientific method is. What is the scientific method?
Observable, repeatable, testable, with an independent variable and a fixed variable. Something that's done in nature.
No, that's not what the scientific method. Let's just follow what is the scientific method.
Me? I know. The scientific method is a systematic process of investigation that involves making observations, asking questions, forming a hypothesis, conducting experiments to test the hypothesis, then analysing the data and drawing conclusions based on the results, allowing scientists to objectively establish facts through testing and experimentation.
Yes, science!
What's the first step in the scientific method?
You tell me where you want to go with this.
It's a simple question, Dave. And it's fine even for a flat earther to say they just don't know. But it's to ask a question, like the one he just asked you, which you clearly don't want to answer for reasons which will become clear soon.
Well, I think we need to follow the framework, what we're going to use to get to truth.
Sure.
So the scientific method, because otherwise it's just, everyone's just talking over each other.
Sure.
The scientific method says first you come up with a hypothesis, step one.
Hang on a second, what's this guy a doctor of? One is ask a question, two is do some background research to learn what's already known about the topic, and three is construct a hypothesis, with four being conduct experiments to test that hypothesis, five being analysing the data from the experiment and drawing conclusions, and six is communicating the results to others. Well, his PhD is in biological engineering, but shouldn't he still at least know what the scientific method says? Especially when he's called Dave out for getting it wrong? Not that I'm definitely not defending Flat Earth Dave. Oh, no.
Sure.
You can have a hypothesis that the Earth is round or the Earth is flat or the Earth is whatever.
Or that in December, when a group of flat earthers and globe earthers all travelled to Antarctica together, they could witness a 24-hour sun, which is impossible on a flat Earth. Isn't that right, Dave?
Flat Earth, you can't have a 24-hour sun, a midnight sun in Antarctica.
And the next thing you do, you agree that you're going to do an experiment.
Sure.
The methodology of an experiment, step two.
Mm-hmm.
And you gather data from that experiment.
Sure.
Okay, and you agree what data you're going to gather.
Sure.
So once that's step three in the scientific method, once you gather that data, you organize that data, and then you produce a model from that data, what that data gives.
Sure.
If that data matches your hypothesis, you say, great, I believe I have something here that's true.
Something like the Earth being a globe, for example?
Do you agree this is a scientific
Yeah, 100%.
method?
Yep.
Okay. So now if someone says the Earth is round, okay,
Yep.
or someone says the Earth is flat, they have to propose an experiment.
Let's do it.
Are you taking the piss?
What do you mean, let's do it, you clown? Will Duffy proposed a perfectly good experiment, and you just say that it isn't an experiment at all, and you refuse to attend even though Will was footing the bill.
And then they go, so before we go there was a recent experiment that was done in Antarctica, right?
It was not an experiment. It was an observation of a light in the
Okay.
sky under very sketchy circumstances. Let me show you
No,
an experiment.
but that too, but Dave,
Yeah.
Dave, that is an experiment because
It's not.
It is.
Well, let's do it didn't last very long, Dave, did it? Are you just a little bit concerned that he's about to bring up you refusing to attend the final experiment?
If you go to the experiment that was done, and I believe some non-flat earther and a flat earther was involved in that, can you describe
Yeah.
what they agreed to do?
Well,
What
I'd
did they
rather
agree to do?
talk about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, you'd rather talk about anything other than what he's talking about, wouldn't you? Because you can't explain it and maintain a belief in a flat Earth.
The 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat Earth.
No, but just to educate people, some guy agreed to do this experiment with this guy, right?
No, they did not. No one agreed to do an experiment. They agreed to go make an observation of the sky and see what it told us.
Right, but that's an experiment, Dave.
Well, it's not because
he's a smelly poo-poo head? I mean, you may as well say that, Dave, because you're rapidly running out of anything else to say.
The lights in the sky do not dictate the shape of the floor.
So you're saying that observing a phenomenon that can only occur on a curved surface is irrelevant to determining the shape of that surface? That's like saying that observing a fish is irrelevant to determining if you're in an aquarium. The 24-hour Antarctic sun is a direct observational piece of evidence that fits perfectly with a globe model and is completely incompatible with a flat Earth. But if we can't convince you of that, then maybe this guy will, because you're obviously in love with him.
On a flat Earth, you can't have a 24-hour sun, a midnight sun in Antarctica. Like, look up at the lights in your ceiling and tell me if they tell you what shape your floor is.
Well, unless the lights on his ceiling are 93 million miles away, then it's not quite the same thing, Dave, is it?
Here's an experiment. Let me show you an experiment
Let's
here.
not talk, Dave. Let's not talk analogies, because analogies in science don't work.
Now, I don't really know much about this Dr. Shiva guy, but I think I quite like him. He's got Dave firmly stuck on the end of his hook. He's wriggling like a worm that's just about to get gobbled up by a great white shark.
No, Dave, stop.
Yeah, Dave, stop before you make yourself look like a complete and utter moron. Actually, we may be too late for that already. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to join me live at 7 p.m. tomorrow night for episode 5 of the Creaky Blinder Show, which is going to be an Ask Me Anything stream, so I'd love to see you there. I'm all prepared to answer your questions. Take care, everybody, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Love you. Bye.
That's all, folks.
Oh yeah, just quickly before you go, what's the difference between a doctor's thermometer and a vet's thermometer? The taste.